100 Estambaseco.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Lagos This Morning on Flip TV. My name is Ebul Waigolo.
And my name is David Smith.
So, David, how are you? How was your night?
Oh, my night was fine. Did you get to experience the rain that fell last night?
No.
You didn't get it? Wow.
There was no rain. No. I had to on my extra fan beside me so that I could sleep well. I was sweating when I woke up. I was actually even sweating.
And the fun part of the rain was that we had lights and it was raining heavily, so it kind of like complemented us. So I felt like two kind of heavy breeze coming towards my direction.
It didn't rain.
One through the window, then the other one from the fan and all. But all in all, it was a beautiful night for me.
So, how was traffic?
Traffic was rough. I left home 5 a.m. this morning. By the time I got to Yanoplaja, that exit of Yanoplaja, everywhere was blocked. I had to wait because normally I take public transport. So I had to wait for the bus to unload the previous passengers before we entered, and it was hectic generally.
Wow.
So before I made my way down to Ogba, oh my God, everywhere was stacked with buses everywhere.
And now, Lagos, we don't used to sleep.
Lagos is a city that does not sleep like New York, as they say.
At all.
But I found my way here. By the time I got here, it was few minutes past 7. And normally I get here earlier than that. Most times I'm here as early as 6 a.m. in the morning.
Wow. Okay. So let's get into the headlines for today.
Are we starting off with?
Starting with the Punch.
Tinubu orders 2 trillion poverty relief funds probe. Edu faces EFCC today. You've heard of the news now?
Yes,
I think it has been trading for a number of days now.
Yeah, for like 3 days, 4 days
3
now.
days. No.
It has been trending.
And you know who Edu is? Edu is the minister for...
Yeah, she's facing EFCC today.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
She's the minister of...
So there's justice in Nigeria.
We hope justice will be served. Okay.
I hope so.
Like I was saying now, Edu is the minister for humanitarian affairs, basically. She's a doctor, Beta Edu. She's from Akwa Ibom State. So, according to reports now, they said she allegedly transferred a public fund of 585 million into one of her private accounts. So, according to what is being said now, she directed her accountant general, the Accountant General of the Federation of Nigeria now, Oluwatoyin Maiden, to transfer public funds directly into her private account without the consent of the president. So indirectly now, that's corruption in itself.
That's stealing.
That's stealing in itself. And the funny thing now is that we have always been clamoring for youths. Let youths take charge. Let this empowerment come to the grassroots, because we always have this feeling that old men generally, because we have more men leading, are always the one in charge of public positions in the country generally. So we feel like, okay, fine, it's time for the youths now to take charge. And Edu comes into play now. She comes into play. She takes charge of a very, very important sector in the economy.
She's a woman.
And she's a lady.
A mother, I guess.
And the funny part now is that we have had women who have taken important positions in the country, and they have done equally well. We have the likes of Okonjo Iweala. She performed well. We have the likes of Dora Akunyili of blessed memory. She also performed well. So the fact that we feel like, okay, fine, let power be directed now to the ladies. Let's see how they fare now. And she has let an entire feminist group down. So I just want to get your opinion on that. How do you feel about women heading political positions, especially positions of power, of high hierarchy in the country?
That's nice. Like, if you look at the history of presidents in the country,
okay,
I don't think a woman has ever been the president. So this is like an opportunity for a woman to like lead and like teach. So this news that I'm seeing, and according to what I even saw, I saw that she said she mistakenly
How will you mistakenly
said that
transfer?
you after pressing like 0 0 0 0,
How
like
will you
how many,
mistakenly
do you know how
transfer
many
five?
zeros she pressed? And I
It's
said mistakenly. No,
it's
that's
just it's just like committing murder and you say is the work of the devil. It was there was a thought that came into process. It's just a process. You felt something come on upon you and you just acted on it. That's what she did. The money came into her account. The money was actually a public fund for alleviation of poverty. And we have been hearing statements last year, the year before that, there will be money from the federal government that will be shared to the
the people.
populace, like the people of Nigeria, to alleviate poverty, COVID funds, all those relief funds, all those basic public funds that we don't get to see. But we see communiques, we see different news articles, we see it online, public print media. They say that 350,000 Nigerians have been alleviated from poverty due to certain amount of funds that have been used to help bridge the gap in poverty. Currently now Nigeria is one of the highest ranking countries when it comes to poverty in the world. It's like basically Nigeria is almost like the poverty capital in the world, because as each year there's a certain percentage of Nigeria that falls down deep into that poverty line. So it says a lot. It says a lot about the mentality we have as citizens. It says a lot about the mentality we have as Nigerians generally. We have this feeling of entitlement, which is not supposed to be so.
Be.
You can't just dip your hands into private funds and be enriching your pockets alone and just neglect.
No,
You
but
neglect
there are millions of people out
you,
there
you
that
neglect the citizenry, and it says a lot about the society we
yeah,
are in
it's
now.
crazy.
And we need to start teaching our children now citizenship education. We need to start taking this closer look into issues like this. Stealing, corruption, generally, it's become a mayhem now. It's so rampant now. People don't see it as anything. I remember first the bad guy came out a few years ago during the NSAS, and he talked about the fact that Yahoo now has become so normal. It has become so normal now that people don't even see it as anything. He said Yahoo now is everywhere, and now it's like the norm of the day now.
Yeah.
Anyone that is not doing it now feels like
Yeah, out of the
you're out of the league.
There's
Like,
even this thing that people are doing now. I think like the mothers of those guys,
Yeah.
they pay some particular set of people to like teach their sons
Yeah.
that they call them these Yahoo mothers.
yeah, it's like a school now. They have buildings. They've caught people. They have buildings
So
in
at the end
Ghana.
of the day, they'll give them certificate or
Yes, now they give them. It's like you are learning work. It's like you've taken up a trade in probably plumbing, for example. Now, after a particular number of years or a particular number of months, whatever the case may be, then you have grown to that stage where you'll be like, okay, fine, no, I've given you freedom. You have learned the trade. You have learned the craft. So go into the world and continue the atrocities you are
Oh.
committing.
Okay, so on the nation, they say on our lady of the hour, better edu faces EFCC grilling. Then 37 billion EFCC quizzes ex-minister Sadia. APC picks Edo candidate February 17. NERC takes over disco over poor performance. Aliyah triumphs at Escorts. Ayedatiwa rejects forgery claim. Super Eagles land in Lagos. Then UBA crosses 1 trillion naira cap mark. That's I think that's for business.
Yeah, just before we go further, I want to draw attention to this 371
Billion naira.
billion naira EFCC
EFCC
quizzes
Ex-Minister
ex-minister.
Sadia. I think that was
That's
the year before.
Yeah. I think Edu is our predecessor.
Yes.
Our successor. So it's like I feel like there's this pattern now in that agency that they need to work in that ministry,
Wow, and they're
that they
both
need to work
women.
on, and they are both women. What does that say about the gender as a whole? What does that say? Because mothers are believed to have this foresight that they have this caring, there's this maternal instinct that they need to take care of their children. They need to take care of people generally around them. So what does this generally say now about women holding political positions?
This is like, it doesn't say anything good. This is a slam. should I say on feminism? Because I'm not a feminist, though.
You're not a
I'm
feminist.
not.
So you can,
I'm just a girl.
okay, for example, now you can wake up 3 a.m. to cook for your husband.
Why not? My husband.
For your
Like,
husband.
yes, now I'm legally married now. You know, the husband is the head, and I'm supposed to be submissive. Like, he goes out to find daily, then me, I stay at home.
What if you're a working mother?
No, wala now.
And okay, fine. Let me give you a perfect example now. You know, there are cases where the husband and the wife live at almost the same time. Like, for example, now you both wake up and you know Lagos now. Lagos is a city that does not sleep. And literally, you know the funny thing, I got home yesterday around 11 p.m. or so. I got home yesterday. I had to get somewhere to get a few things. Then I dashed down. So reaching home around 11 p.m. now, I got home. I was so tired. I took my bath. I ate. Even the food I ate, it did not even enter. So I ate. I slept. Then my alarm wakes me up by 2.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. in the morning. I wake up by 2 and I'm like, what is happening? How is that the time goes by so fast?
Yeah, I think so, it's like shorter nights, longer day, I guess.
I doze off for like few minutes and I wake up and it's 3 a.m. Like, wow.
Wow.
And the funny thing is that people are still on the road that time. You see people as early as 3 a.m. on the road going to the islands.
I know that schools are resumed. Yeah, so like the roads are like really, really jam-packed now.
Schools have resumed now.
And the transport is scarce because this morning when I was coming, come on. It was crazy on the road.
Now that's Lagos for you.
Then UBA crosses 1 trillion naira cap mark. I think that's on business. Then we have here, today is Dele Mele Kayari. That's the Group Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Today is his birthday. I don't know how old he's clocking today, but we just want to say happy birthday, sir, from all of us at Flip TV. If you can even get the message.
They would have put his age now. He listens to us. I'm sure. I'm sure he listens to us.
They didn't put it there to just like, you know. So on to the next headline.
Sorry to call you. Do they ever really disclose their ages? I'm talking about politicians now.
No.
Politicians, those that occupy political positions.
Everybody knows Tinubu's age.
Everybody knows Tinubu's age.
Yes, no.
Okay, let's leave it as that. Let's leave it as that. So what?
News Direct.
Okay, we are moving to News Direct now.
Yep.
Okay. What's the headline saying?
Unlawful detention. Court awards 100 million damages to Emefiele. Now, this is an interesting headline because
we talked about it. You know, we talked about it this morning before we got into the studio. Talked about the fact that the EFCC unlawfully detained Emefiele. There was no rule of law in place or anything. You just walk into a person's house, you just burst into his house. You know, there are cases of when DSS of operatives do that, when EFCC, when police officers do it generally. You don't have a permit that says a permit that says you can enter a person's house and search or put the person out for arrest. So you know there's a warrant they give you. Like before you enter someone's house, you'll be like, okay, fine. I have a court mandated warrant to search you out for a particular thing, or a court mandated warrant to bring you to jail to bring you to a police station for questioning and all. But you just burst into the man's house or something.
So I don't understand the evidences that they actually presented. Was it not real or?
I feel like first of all they had crossed the line when they unlawfully detained him. There was no sufficient evidence that said this man had committed the crimes that they said he committed, because it's alleged now. There's no official document backing any of those stuff.
Now they have to start the rightful way back.
Yeah, he's his rights now. He's a Nigerian now. He has to sue them now.
100 million damages. Wow.
He has to sue
That's
them.
A lot. Like after all the Wahala.
Yeah, he went through a lot. He actually went through a lot. He got
this man put us through. That's crazy. 100 million damages. NLC issues 14 days warning.
NCC.
Oh, NCC. Sorry. NCC issues 14-day warning to operators illegally utilizing 5.4 GHz frequency bandwidth. Oh, okay. Bandwidth. Okay.
Supreme Court affirms ally as Benue governor. Throws out PDP appeal. Then Zenith Bank Fidelity Bank, lead KPMG corporate bank rankings in Nigeria.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 585 million naira misappropriation. Tinubu orders panel to review social investment program. Suspends Better Edu. Our the lady of the hour.
Yeah, can I get your opinion on something? Okay, what does this have to say about the president as a whole now? You have picked someone now that you believe, okay, fine, you are transparent, you are someone who has seen it before, because before you pick ministers now, they have to go through this process of screening. So, and going back, I was reading an article going back and seeing all her previous positions she has. There have been one allegation or another regarding this lady
And
as
yet
well,
they will still
and
keep...
she was still able to make it to that position of being an humanitarian, to be the minister of humanitarian poverty alleviation or something. What do you think the thought process is about about appointing minister generally into positions? How do you feel? What do you think we need to do right now? Because it feels like we have been doing something wrong. It keeps on coming. Misappropriation, money laundering, and general fraud and all. So what do you think we need to do differently regarding this issue?
And I don't think so. I think it just happens to be like personality. Like now, like I don't she has not spent a year, but she spent a year. And allegations like this, and she has even been suspended. And you have not even spent like a year in that particular place of work and you have been suspended. So I don't even know what I can say to that. Like,
okay, fine. What I was just saying, and let me pull out something. They said in 2020, Edu was accused of posting fake photos of ventilators. And the Cross River State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association passed a vote of no confidence on Edu over accusations of professional misconduct in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. So there's this pattern now that she has these allegations that have been coming up, and they always say there's no smoke without fire. There was something that led to
I'm
this.
sure they saw all this, and
They've seen all
they
this.
still kept her in that particular position. So did they expect her to be Jesus Christ? Like, I don't
There was already a writing on the wall. And also in 2022, during her campaign to become national women's leader of the APC, Edu was accused of procedural misconduct, and that led now to like the final stroke that broke the camel's back. On 8th January 2024, she was suspended from her position as the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for allegedly embezzling. Is it embezzling, I would say?
she transferred
Transferred
the money to her personal
allegedly,
account.
because it has not been proven. 585 million, over 585 million from public funds
Into her own
private
account.
and you say it's a mistake. And how possible is
Funny
that?
enough, after like maybe probably few weeks, the matter will die down, and probably they'll even reinstall her back.
Exactly. That is exactly what I was.
But I'm happy that Tinubu is like is being the president that he said is going to be. So this EFCC matter, the way he's taking it seriously. I heard she's meeting EFCC today
for drilling.
The drilling and all. So
but doesn't that say a lot about Nigeria generally, that we have misplaced priorities? You know, no man, now we are focused on this particular issue. After some time, something else diverts our attention. And probably she's eventually cleared of all the allegations that have been leveled against, and she comes into position.
First, it was Emefiele. Now everybody's attention has been drawn to Better Edu now.
Yeah.
So
that says a lot about Nigeria
our
generally.
country.
Yeah, we need to do a lot about.
We need to do better as a country. I feel like everybody is even tired, save like everything that is going on. Everybody is tired. Like this government, they keep throwing a lot of things about Nigerians now. Anything they throw at us, we're always chesting it. I mean, how will I say?
It's not a good habit. We keep absorbing. It
shows that no matter what, we can adapt.
But in a civilized country, it's not supposed to be so. There are things that we are not supposed to take for granted. We are taking little things like this for granted. The hike in fuel prices, the embezzlement, the corruption. We need to stand as one voice. We need to stand as one voice and call for actions, due actions to be
I think
taken,
we stood
due
as
process.
one voice during the SARS time, and
But
we all saw how
people
that.
still use it to catch crews.
Ha.
People still didn't take it as it's supposed to be because it's still going on. There are still cases of people in uniform harassing youths, harassing
Back then in
citizens.
school, because I schooled in Unilearning. Back then in school, all these police officers, like when they used to money, like I don't even understand how they used to do. I just stop a guy and they would tell him like, okay, enter inside. Like, what did he do? Nothing. Just be harassing him and like
Just being
all those
just
things. We need to like deal with, like we need to deal with all those issues. Why you're harassing a student?
being
Some
young.
of these police officers will even jump fence like to enter, because most of the
Yeah.
hostels they have gates, like
Yeah.
they will
They break
jump.
into the house.
Why you jumping fence?
No
That's
search warrants, nothing.
That's like
That's criminal generally.
Yes, now
That's
if they
criminal.
jump fence now. So why you jumping fence? I don't understand.
That's criminal in the entirety. So walking around as a youth now in Nigeria is a crime.
And now harassment,
Harassment.
like everywhere, both male and female. Because before it was male, but now it's both male and female.
But it's more on the male side, if we are being honest, than the female.
It's both now. It's actually both. So we are going on a short break, and then when we come back, I'm going to give you more news headlines.
100 That's Seko.
Okay, welcome back to Lagos. Welcome back to Lagos this morning. Yeah.
So we are going on to Blueprint. The headlines.
It reads, CSOs, Udume hails Tinubu's firm stance against corruption. And the rider, utmost transparency needful for humanitarian affairs ministry. Then Sadia Farouk yields self at EFCC's headquarters. So to get that, you need to open to page 6 and 7 of the Blueprint newspaper, where we talk, generally it's talking about, the headlines today is majorly focusing on better adults,
yes.
suspension and all.
And all.
But speaking on that, something just came to mind now. The issue of transparency, the issue of checks and balances in these ministries. There need to be procedures put in place for checks and balances. Everybody needs to be held accountable for actions, for every action.
Yes.
In position or after position. I know in their position there is what we call immunity. Immunity, yeah. That is when you are, as long as you are occupying a public position, you will not be touched. Nothing will come your way until after you have ended your tenure. Then you see FCC will swoop in and be like, okay, fine, we have had so case of fraud, we have so case of misappropriation of funds, we have so case of embezzlement and all. So they need to be check and balances. There's nobody should be above the law in this country. Nobody should be above the law in any country. Even the president should be held accountable for every action he makes. Every penny that is in the public funds, that is moved into the public, to the public purse, to the federal government purse generally now, needs a certain form of accountability. Every penny. If so penny is spent on construction of roads, it needs to be documented to the letter that this particular amount was used for construction of roads. This particular amount was used for the feeding of members of the House of Assembly and all. So we need to take account of things like this. There needs to be accountability for issues like this.
Do you remember that COVID time where they stored our palliatives in like a very big warehouse?
Yeah.
And can you imagine? Like they usually stopped us from going to work that would bring us money,
Yeah.
money that would like feed our family. He said we should stay at home. So the least that you can do as a government is like give us one or two, and then you were giving, and then you went to like lock everything.
That,
Like,
it shows that
the history of this our
it shows
country
that we are gradually losing our humanity. We are gradually losing our morality. What seems right, what seems wrong now seems right. What seems right now seems wrong, because we have misplaced priorities everywhere. The issues like this, if it were in a civilized country now, it will be dealt with immediately. It will be dealt with. You know, it's only in countries like Nigeria, sorry to say, second or third world countries, like cases will come up that the government can't take care of you. You need to take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Then why did we elect them into those positions? If they can't cater for our needs, why were they elected into those positions? These are things we need to look inwards. We need to look inwards.
Then this Sadia's Farouk, it seems this matter is like really serious, because yesterday I think the EFCC, the investigation took from like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. That's like very long. Like the investigation took really, really long.
My issue with the entirety of this stuff now, is not with the drilling, no. It's with the aftermath. What will happen after she's been drilled? What will come of it? It will just be swept under the carpet. Another case
of
corruption that just disappear. All of a sudden, it sweeps, and we as Nigerians, we just lose focus, we lose touch of it, and we are like just swept under the carpet. That's what has always been hampering democracy in this country, because no one is held accountable. I keep saying that everyone should be held accountable, from the president down to the citizens. Everyone needs to be accountable for every actions they make.
Yes. A few days back, there was a news that was circulating everywhere that fuel was 1,200, and then they come out to say it is not. So, like, who actually started spreading the news that fuel is actually 1,200? Because I don't understand what they were trying to achieve by that. I feel like maybe they were actually using that news to like press down something, like so that, you know, the way Nigeria our government, they're always like giving us one thing like this, so that you throw this one to these people, they will like will not like focus on this particular.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but listen to this now. For example, now, okay, fine, it was already in place. The president-elect then, before he became president, as Bola Ahmed Tinubu was to enter office, and there were cases of subsidy being removed and all. And what did Nigerians do? What did those in charge of these important sectors now? What did they do now? They started hiking prices of fuel products, started hiking prices of goods and services. We ourselves, we as Nigerians, we are still committing the havoc, because it starts from little things like this. It's little things like this that escalate and become big, and before you know, somebody in the society now is elected to a political position, and it picks up for where it left off. Because little things like this need to be checked. There needs to be check and balance for little things like this. We can't keep causing harm to ourselves than good. Because the president had not come out then to say, okay, fine, no, we have removed subsidy. It was just yesterday. Yes. It was yesterday. Nothing final has been said about it.
I think he gave a particular date of when and before then, everything had already gone. Because I was in school then, and prices of things were
skyrocketing. Everything, the price of
pepper 200 was like maybe 3 tomato or maybe 3 rodo that time.
And onions was like diamond and like gold.
And we'll cook now, we eat.
Well, we need to stop living like that. Like
but Nigerians now, we are strong. We can take anything.
We need to stop with that mentality. Honestly,
we are really strong. Like we are really, really strong. Like the more they keep pushing us to the wall, it seems like the wall itself they shift back for us. So we self go there.
But the fact that the youth in 2020 stood up for a cause, NSAS, to eliminate police brutality generally, to eliminate corruption, because that NSAS alone stood for different things. It was just like a symbol of hope for the youths alone to stand up.
For everybody, it was not even only for the youth. Because I saw children too, little kids, they were also at the valid ground. So
That shows that we can also stand up. We ourselves, if we stand up for our rights, the government will be forced to make
but I don't think anybody would want to after what has happened.
the federal government had to swoop in and end SARS for that reason, for that same reason. That shows that there is unity and there is strength in numbers.
They
If we
ended us
stand
instead.
together.
They didn't end SARS, so they ended us.
They disbanded the SARS itself, man. It was disbanded.
So now it's the FCC that is taking over and is harassing everybody everywhere now. So on our final headlines, Daily Trust. Bandits return to Kaduna Abuja highway at Duct 30. Now this is the case of bandits. Okay, I think they call them Boko Haram.
No, we call them bandits because
Bandits.
at this point now, generally, the government does not want to do something about it. So
We call them
Well,
bandits.
what happens when crime continues to go unchecked? What happens? It begins to escalate. Generally, that's what happens. It begins to escalate and it becomes a recurrent kind of, it becomes rampant. Because the case, there are numerous cases. We have had different cases of bandits going into communities, raping women, harassing children, killing young men and all, and there have been nothing to check it.
The
There have been
headline
nothing.
even says bandits return. So that means they've actually come before
That's
and nothing
exactly-
was done. So they've seen that nothing was actually done about it.
Exactly
And
the
they
point I'm proving
came
that.
back and abducted 30 people.
They were like, okay, fine.
Ah.
Let's go in hiding. They've done what they did. Federal government, no one is coming after us, no security operative, nothing. And then they go back again, they continue. And this is how they will keep doing it. Unless the necessary operative
Security.
security needs to be put in place. We need to start checking issues like this. We need to start bringing them. If not, it will escalate. We are talking about issue of north insecurity in the northeast now, and it has started spreading out to the north central part. It has started hitting Abuja, the likes of Kogi State and all. So we need to start checking issues like this. If not, it will become rampant and it become, as they say, a land where there is no. They say it in Yoruba, a land where there is no. What word should I use now? A land where there is no law, there is no crime.
Yes. So once again, we wish Dr. Mele Kari, the GCEO of NNPCL, a happy birthday. So, and that is all on Lagos this morning. Do subscribe to our channel. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.